When the woodsman handed me to you, Geppetto, back when I was just a talking log, I knew only one thing to tell my creator, my new father, that I was to be a real boy. And Geppetto, though you heard me, you whittled me into a wish for a daughter named Pinocchio. Father, isn't life a funny tide? When I am washed into the belly of a shark, one so big it swallowed your whole ship, and I find you eating the raw fish that clap at your feet, and you grinned a shine of scales and greeted me, Pinocchio! I should have been full of mirth, for I had thought you dead for years, but what came out of my mouth was, no, father, it's me, your son, Pinocchio. And I waited for that old rage, the one that called me sick, called me devil, called me daughter, that shouted me from our little hut. But instead you smiled as if you had to make room for 6 sets of teeth and said, Pinocchio? It was then I realized what living in the belly of a shark might do to a person. Father Geppetto, you suffer a softened mind, remember little, and can be convinced of anything. So this is our true story. Back when I slept at your feet, I used to beg the fairy to turn me into something different, something softer, like your blanket or a pillow, something never to be named, only held. And Father, I'm sorry. I know that after I left, you became the town's grim tale, a wearied voice that would slap the sides of houses demanding that your daughter, Pinocchio, be returned. You should have looked for me instead. I told you my name before I left. This morning, after our bath, and I was cutting your nails, you asked me if I had written another chapter in the book I'm writing about our lives, the adventures of Pinocchio. Could I read it to you? Father, I read it only after you are asleep. I go out into the woods so as to not shatter the windows with the menace of birds that arrive, their beaks thirsty to erase this lie of a nose that whines and curls as I tell you the story that I want you to hear. And Father, I'm sorry for what ease it brings me to know that you will never remember to call me Pinocchio again in your deep vertigo. And I hear you ask the fairy each night to turn me into a real boy before you die. But that old wish, it means nothing to me now. This morning, you held me and said, Pinocchio, you are such a fine boy, such a good lad. Father, this is all I've ever needed, was to feel real in your eyes.